Hello friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Now in this session, we'll continue our discussion of power system short formulas here. So this is a lecture series number 5 here. The main points here it is first one. In case of parallel generators, the generator with the minimum drooping characteristics, remember here minimum drooping characteristics supply maximum loads. Okay, and with the zero drooping characteristics, minimum drooping characteristics or constant speed. So constant speed will supply entire load changes without affecting the other generators. What's the meaning of this one is as the load increases, the generator speed is going to be decreases here. Okay, there's nothing but drooping characteristics. So the generator which has a constant speed and which can share the maximum amount of load, which will not affect the other generators connected in parallel connections. Next one here, the voltage at which corona. Okay, so nowadays corona is a famous word, but in a power system, the voltage at which corona just started is critical disruptive voltage VC we can say. So VC is equal to M into G into R into delta into ln of D by R kV per phase. So it's RMS value here. So where A is nothing but a roughness factor, M is equal to 0.8 to 0.9 for aluminum conductor steel reinforced. Okay, all connectors. Okay, this is aluminum conductor steel reinforced here, and it is a zero point 0.9 to 1.0 for hollow conductors. It is nothing but a smoothness factor. Okay, so when the conductor is of this aluminum conductor type, okay, its regularity will be less here. Suppose in case of a smooth cylindrical conductor, okay, hollow conductor or cylindrical conductor, it will be zero point 0.9 to 1.0, and a G is nothing but a dielectric strength 21 kilovolts per centimeter. Kilovolts per centimeter, it's a RMS value, and maximum value is 30 kV. Okay, 30 kV per centimeter, it's a maximum value. So delta is nothing but air density factor is nothing but 3.92 B divided by 273 plus T here. So T is the temperature here, kelvins, and B is the barometric pressure here. So B is the barometric pressure. Now we'll continue this here. Next, there is one more definition is that this visual critical disruptive voltage, that is the voltage at which corona is visible is critical visual disruptive voltage. So VV is equal to mgr into delta into here one extra term is there. Already you have seen these terms mgr and delta into ln of d by r, and this will be the extra term which will be here. Okay, so what it will do is it will make this voltage increases so that we can observe the corona whitish blue color visible color visible there. So mgr into delta into 1 plus zero point 0.3 divided by square root of delta into r here. Okay, next one. Corona occurs if the applied voltage is greater than Vc. So critical disruptive voltage then. So whatever the voltage we are applying, if it is higher than that of Vc, okay, then there will be corona occurs. So suppose if V phase is less than Vc, then corona loss will be zero. No corona we can say. So it depends upon operating voltage. If you are going for higher operating voltage, what is the drawback? It causes corona. So power losses. So power loss is equal to 241 into 10 power minus 5 into F plus 25 divided by delta into square root of R by D into V phase minus Vc square. Okay. So it's a power loss formula. It's empirical formula. Okay. Now observe here the relationship here. So power losses depends upon frequency. Power loss depends upon delta value. Okay. So power loss depends upon radius of the conductor. So power loss depends upon distance here. So power losses due to corona here, Vph minus Vc square. Suppose if the critical disruptive voltage is high, what about the corona losses? Decreases. So that's a very important point. Okay. Next one. In fault analysis we are discussing here. So in fault analysis, IAPC or VAPC you can take here. Suppose if you are taking I here, here it will be voltage. Okay, oh sorry, I only. Here if you're taking voltage here also voltage here. Then what is the difference are here? So here these three are ABC nothing but unbalanced quantities. So they are unbalanced electrical quantity here. So here these are 0, 1, 2 are balanced electrical quantity. So 0 represents 0 sequence, 1 represents positive sequence, 2 represents negative sequence here. Okay. Now we can write this reverse here. If you go for the reverse transpose of this matrix I012 V012, or you can say here or 1 by 3 into 1 1 1 1 alpha square alpha 8. So what is this alpha? Alpha is an operator which indicates having a magnitude of 1 and a phase displacement of 120 degrees here. Okay, so alpha square is nothing but 1 at angle 240. This is a small relationship here. 1 plus alpha square. So 1 plus alpha square is equal to 0. So this is one of the important relationship which may occur in your examinations, which already came in most of the examinations. Now you should keep in mind. So 1 plus alpha square is equal to 0 here. Okay, now the power, apparent power of SABC in three phases is equal to 3 into VA0 means 0 sequence voltage into 0 sequence of current with the conjugate sign here, positive sequence voltage into positive sequence current with conjugate, and the negative sequence current with negative sequence voltage with negative sequence current here. Okay, now I neutral. So there is a general important relationship wherever the in the faults there will be neutral. That means wherever the neutral is there, at that time the currents will be like this. Okay, I neutral is equal to 3 into IA naught. That is a 3 times that of 0 sequence current, or which is equal to 3 times that of positive sequence currents, and they will be equal to 3 times that of 0 sequence currents. Okay, so 3 IA naught, 3 IB naught, 3 AC naught. Sorry, IA naught, IB naught, IC naught are the quantities here. So unbalanced quantities in a star connected system. Now next one. So positive sequence network represented an alternator. So EA is equal to VA1 plus IA1 into Z1. From this we can say VA1 is equal to EA1 minus IA1 into Z1. So this is the important relationship here. Okay, so this is the important relationship. Next one. In delta connected, there is no zero sequence connection circuit currents. Why? Because there is no because in delta connected winding there is no regarding neutral point is not there. Okay, now you remember this point here. So always positive sequence and a negative sequence is associated with neutral, and the zero sequence with respect to ground here. So wherever the ground connection is there, there we can see zero sequence components. In delta basically there is no ground connection, so no zero sequence components will exist. Okay, so negative sequence is represented in VA2 is equal to the same value here, but the EMF will not be 0 here. So minus IA2 into Z2. Remember here minus here. Why? Because EMF will be 0 here. Next, 0 sequence in V0 is equal to same also 0 minus IA0 into Z0 here. Now on condition here XD greater than XD dash greater than XD double dash. What is the meaning of this one is subtransient reactance means XD double dash. Okay, it is subtransient reactance and it's a transient reactance, and it is steady state reactance. So steady state reactance is always higher compared to the subtransient and transient reactance. This is the reason why when the fault occurs, the machine goes under subtransient condition, the current will be maximum condition. Okay, after a few seconds of time, when the machine enters into steady state, the current will be controlled here. Steady state current is normally controlled. For negative sequence, effective impedance offered is given by Z2 is equal to J into XD double dash plus J XD dash divided by 2 here. Okay, so this is especially in case of silent pole machines, this formula. Next one, for a transformer Z1 is equal to Z2 is equal to Z0 is equal to JXL or JXLT here. Okay, so this is what in case of transformers all the sequence impedance are same. Okay, now the switch circuit is used for transformer for zero sequence representation. So here S1 and S4 will give a connections for star star, and S2 and S3 for delta delta. Suppose for example, if the winding is primary side is a star, secondary winding is a delta, for example. Okay, so for star what we will do is we will close the switch S1. S1 we can close, and it will have a Z0 like this. Now secondary is delta, no? So delta means we close the switch S3. So S3 here. So this is the equivalent circuit of this transformer here. Okay. Next one, impedance of transmission lines. So impedance of transmission line, in this case of transmission lines, the zero sequence impedance is higher. Why? Because it depends upon length. So Zs plus 2Zm. So where Zs is a self impedance, Zm is a mutual impedance. So when the lines are getting transposed there, they will have some mutual impedances between them. Okay, actually mutual reactance will be there. So because of that reason, mutual impedance will be there. Okay, so Z0 is equal to Zs plus 2Zm, Z1 is equal to Zs minus Zm, and Z2 is equal to Zs minus Zm. So this is an important question which is asked in AP Transco 2019 paper. Okay, if you transport to the 19 paper, this question is asked. Okay, for transmission lines, we have that Z0, okay, is greater than Z1 and Z2, okay, and Z1 is equal to Z2. So same relationship we discuss. So fault occurrence probability. So line to ground fault, generally one line is connected with a tree branch or which is cut and fallen down to ground, which will be considered as line to ground fault. So which is having a 70% of probability when compared to line to line or three phase to line to ground faults. Okay, so it's have a 70% probability that most of the times the fault will be line to ground fault only. Now next one, if a three-phase short circuit fault on the transmission line occurs, then we have the fault calculations as IF is equal to some transient term plus steady state term is there, that is a k into e power minus r by l rt r by l into t plus vm by z into sine omega t plus alpha minus theta here. Okay, so from this we can do the momentary calculations, as we can find this value of vm here. Now in single line to ground fault, the conclusions are important here. In single line to ground fault, whatever the phase current is there, one phase is there, there is a fault current, and the remaining healthy phases are there, B phase and C phase are going to be zero. So the phase currents are B, C and C are zero. We are assuming this condition. Why? Because the remaining two are healthy conditions, they are in open circuit condition. Now zero sequence current is equal to positive sequence current is equal to negative sequence current. That means all the sequence currents are same. So when the currents are in same, we can say they are in series connection. Okay, so which is equal to Ia by 3, where Ia is nothing but phase current. Okay, Ia by 3. This is nothing but IF by 3 here. So what is the fault current from the sequence network? IF is equal to 3 times that of Ia naught. From this you can say. So 3 into Ia naught, which is nothing but 3 E divided by Z1 plus Z2 plus Z0. Z1 is a positive sequence impedance, Z2 is a negative sequence impedance, Z0 is a zero sequence impedance. And what about this extra term here? This you should give much importance and much importance here. 3 into Zn plus 3 into Zf. Zf is nothing but here it is nothing but fault impedance. Okay, so fault impedance, in examination point of view, the examiner will ask question, you consider the fault impedance as like that, they can say. Okay, here you should multiply it with 3 here, and Zn already you know it's a neutral impedance. Okay, if the examination doesn't discuss about anything, you can consider as a zero value only. Okay, and the neutral voltage Vn is equal to 3 into Ia naught into Zn. So 3 into Ia naught into Zn here. Remember here 3 is a factor. Next one, the short circuit MVA. Short circuit MVA is equal to EA into IA conjugate plus EB into IB conjugate plus EC into IC conjugate here. Short circuit MVA. So to avoid the arcing grounds, neutral of the alternator is connected to the ground. Okay, neutral of the alternator connected to the ground here. So for alternator, resistor grounding is best. But practically, when you are doing examination point of view, exams point of view, they will ask reactors. Why? Because you can easily add this for calculation purpose. But in practical cases, we'll use resistance grounding is the best to eliminate this FF faults. Okay, and arcing inductor value we can call as a Peterson coil. So what will happen is when there is no grounding connection, automatically line fault will induce some extra amount of voltage in the other phases. Okay, which can be controlled by using this Peterson coil, which will have an inductance of L is equal to 1 by 3 into omega square into C. Okay, so units are Henry. Next one, in case of line to line fault. So till now we covered the line to ground fault. Now we are talking about line to line faults. That means between two faults. So here there is no concept of grounding here. So line to line fault is also known as double line circuit fault. So we have IB plus IC is equal to 0. But because these two lines will contribute the fault, but there is no inductor here, there is no grounding here, that's why IB plus IC is equal to 0 here, and VB is equal to VC. So the fault current which you found here, it is IF is equal to root 3 times of IA1, which is equal to minus J root 3. Remember here minus J root 3 times that of E divided by Z1 plus Z2. Okay, and from this diagram you can see the relationship IA1 and IA2 both are in opposite signs. That means they are in negative, equal in magnitude but opposite in sign, and VA1 is equal to VA2. So tell me in which symmetrical fault, so in which unsymmetrical fault the sequence voltages are same, the sequence currents also same in magnitude. That fault is line to line fault. Okay, but negative sign is there. Okay, should keep in mind. Okay, next VB minus VF is equal to IF into ZF here. So with we consider the fault impedance here. Okay, next one. In double line to ground fault, now we are talking about double line to ground fault here. Double line to ground fault, we have that all the sequence impedances connected in parallel. Okay, when the sequence impedance all are connected in parallel, what about the currents here? See, so all the currents accumulating at this point, IA1, if you apply KCL in this direction, IA2 and IA0. So these all are connected at this node here. If you apply KCL, this will be say that IA1 plus IA1 plus IA0 plus IA2 will be equal to 0. Now we will calculate IA1. IA1 is nothing but from this value here. Simply the EA1 voltage here, EA1 divided by Z1 plus Z2 and Z0 both are in parallel. So you can say Z0 into Z2 divided by Z0 plus Z2 here. Okay, fault current IF is equal to IB plus IC. Okay, fault current. Earlier case IB plus IC is equal to 0. Now it is fault current here, it is IB plus IC is equal to IF. Why? Because there is a ground. So ground will take care of that current. Now fault current IF is equal to 3 into minus IA1 into Z2 divided by Z2 plus Z0. How we got these equations? See here, IA0 equal to 1 by 3 instead of I0 plus IB plus IC. Okay, IB plus IC is equal to, so 3 into IA0. From this you can get IF. Now conclusion here. In double L to ground fault, if the neutral is not grounded, then it is considered as a line-to-line fault only. Okay, if ZF comma Zn included in that formula, then we can say Z0 will be equal to 3 into ZF plus 3Zn plus Z0 value. So here you will add this extra. What is that? 3 into ZF plus 3 into Zn value if they given fault impedance as well as with negative sequence impedance. Okay, so once you are doing some small problems, you can solve it. Okay, so if possible we'll continue next session, next series of lectures we'll discuss only problems based on these formulas here. Now next one, in case of symmetrical means there may be three phase line to triple L fault or triple L to ground fault. So fault we have that only positive sequence, there is no negative sequence, there is no zero sequence here. Okay, in symmetrical fault only IA1 is equal to EA1 by Z1 equivalent. What about IA2 and IA0? It is 0. Okay, now always circuit breaker at the terminals of the alternator is designed based on what? Line to ground fault. Remember here, in case of alternator, LG fault is a more dangerous, and in case of transmission line, okay, it is based on triple L to ground fault. In case of circuit breaker designing for alternator, it is based on the line to ground fault condition. Whatever the calculation we found now, IF value. So based on that IF value only, the circuit breaker is designed. If the fault current, okay, pickup current is greater than this field IF value, at the time it will trip. Okay, and similarly for transmission lines, it is based on the triple L ground faults. That is the reason why the fault analysis is very important. So with the help of fault analysis only, we are going to design the circuit breaker ratings equipments to be used for the protection of power system. Okay, that is the reason we study fault analysis. And the fault analysis we study with the impedance network, not with the admittance network. Load flow studies we will discuss with admittance network. Okay, next year. Steady state stability limit. So steady state stability limit P, SSL is equal to EV by XS. Generally this formula is from P is equal to EV by X into sine delta. For maximum steady state stability limit, delta is considered to be 90. So when delta is considered to be 90 ideally, then PSSL is nothing but EV by XL or XS here. Okay, to get a maximum power transfer in the transmission line. So to get a maximum power transfer in the transmission line, X is equal to root 3 times that of R. What is the impedance angle of the transmission line? Theta is equal to tan inversion of XL by R. What is the XL? Is equal to tan inversion of root 3. So at that time you will get it as a 60 degrees. Okay, 60 degrees here. So based on this formula here, X is equal to root 3 times that of R here. Okay, now for stable operating point, so we are talking about the swing equations. Okay, for stability operating point of view, dou P by dou delta is greater than 0. Dou P by dou delta is greater than 0 here. Now we'll discuss about torque equation. So torque equation is equal to T is equal to, there's electromechanical shaft torque is equal to electromagnetic torque plus J into dW by dt, we can call this a moment of inertia, plus B into W, viscous force here. So these are torque required in any electrical machine. Either it may belongs to you can say in case of measurements or in case of any electrical machines. So this is an important formula here. And next one here, now m into d square delta by dt square is nothing but accelerating power, which is nothing but which is the difference between mechanical input and electrical output. Okay, so pm minus p max into sin delta. So it is given in megawatts second square divided by electrical impedance. So this is a unit also, it is asked in examinations. Now, so swing equation is of second order nonlinear equations here. The characteristic equation is nothing but m square into ms square plus ds plus k is equal to 0. So from that we can find the roots. From there we can derive this minus dm by 2m plus or minus j square root of k by m minus dm square. What is the conclusion that we can make from this here? It is, if the damping is neglected, then f delta f is equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of k by m. So where k is nothing but dou p by dou delta here. Okay, now we will stop here. We'll continue in the next session here. Thank you friends, thanks for watching my video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, those who are not subscribed, and share with this content with your friends here. Okay, your subscriptions and your comments will motivate us to do better and better. Thank you, have a nice day.